Double doors. I just hate sometimes having to adjust double doors because it always seems like one of them starts sagging and they start rubbing, and you work on it and then something else happens. So I want to get these taken care of once and for all and get them ready to be painted. Now you don't have to, you can do these different things before you get things painted too, or even if you're not going to be painting, you can still fix stuff. Okay, so I'm looking at this. Here's the left hand door and here's the right hand door. See right in here, the doors are hitting, aren't they? That means I'm going to have to, first I got to look at this gap here. Now, this one looks pretty good. So see, if I take this door and try to raise it up, maybe adjust that hinge to push it over tighter over there and raise this up. I don't have very much room up here, do I? I see over here this gap is bigger, right? A little bit taller there, so that means I'm going to have to work on this door to raise this one up. I'm going to take the door and kind of lift up on it, which means I'm going to have to work on this door hinge right here, because it looks like see, I got to get on my 3-foot ladder to get up here because these are 8-foot tall doors. You got the same sort of issues with 6-foot doors, but because I've got 4 hinges here, I'm going to end up working on these 2 hinges. And see, I got plenty of gap. If you notice right here, there's a slight crack where the caulking is, and that looks like this section of door jamb could have pushed over to the right a little bit, thereby kicking this door kind of downhill, rubbing onto that other door. And I can see I've got plenty of gap. See how big this gap is? Usually this gap is the same as this gap up here. Well, this side is bigger, so I know I can take this hinge and push it tighter over this way, okay? And because it's 4 hinges on the door, I'm gonna probably tweak this and push this over a little bit. Now, if this was only a 6-foot tall door with 3 hinges, I probably only have to do the top hinge, okay? And I look at this, and I look over here, and it looks like, see, this gap is bigger right there. If you follow it down, it actually gets smaller down here. You see? That gap right there is about what you want. I see it actually looks like this door has sagged just a little bit to the left, but as you could see, if I raise that up, I can't raise it up very high, can I? Because if I raise this and tilt the door up and lift up, I have hardly any gap there at all. And these doors here happen to be to a closet. See how they're rubbing? See how it's rubbing there? See there? Look at that. It's hitting there. And because this is a closet, they decided to run these doors a different way. You see? This strike up here, there's a little indentation there. You're like, what's that for? That's what keeps the door closed. See that up there? I got it there. See? That's on a spring, and it pushes down. And so when that closes, it hits and it goes into that little socket there. And that's what keeps the door closed. So I hardly have any room here. If I lift that up any higher, it's gonna get the door to close that much harder up there. And this door here, when I pull that, when I pull this door and close it, it's a lot easier to close. You know why? Because the gap up here is bigger. And so it's easier to fit it in there because this doesn't have to spring down so far. When I lift that up, it's going to spring a little bit harder, just like this door did. And it's going to keep the door closed a lot better. See how that pushes down? And that spring feels nice and tight. That's kind of slick how they did that. you can't have the gap too big there. If that gap was any bigger, if you happen to have doors like this and if the gap is any bigger, maybe that doesn't hold your door closed. And it will be because the door has sagged, the gap right up along here is too big, and this is not activating in there all the way. See, that one's nice and easy to do. This one is a little bit harder to close, but that's how you want it. You want it kind of stiff. And my concern here is that if I lift this up any higher, it could be that much more stiffer, but we'll see. We'll see. You know, if I have to adjust this right-hand door, I will, okay? But I'm not gonna do that first. I'm gonna work on this one. If you look at this, I'm going to try to get the gap about like that all the way along here, which means I got to lift this door up. You can imagine a door here. Once you lift it up this way, of course, that means I'm going to have to get these hinges and suck the door over to the left. You follow? If I do that, it's going to tilt it up. Just like if you got a square box, you lift the top left hand side of the box up, it's going to raise the right hand side of the box up. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool how it all works. Once you understand how different things work, you can then go around and make deductions on what you can do to fix it. Okay? So my first step is, what is my first step? I'm going to try and get that adjusted differently, and if it doesn't work, I got a slight little trick on that too. We're just gonna see what happens here. Okay, my first step is I'm gonna open this up, and I've got to take these hinges, and I'm gonna do one at a time. Okay, I'm gonna do one at a time. I'm gonna take the 3 screws out of there. I'm gonna flop the hinge back, that side that's on the door jamb. I'm going to lift it out, and I'm going to drill 2 holes in there. And I'm going to put long screws in there, and I'm going to suck that over. Then I'm going to put the hinge back, and I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Okay? Just keep watching. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, you'll get the whole grasp of it. If you've already seen some of my videos where I've shown how this works, you know exactly what I'm going to do next. And maybe you're thinking, I already know what he's going to do. I'm not going to watch him do this. I don't need to spend my time on this. Well, but have you seen me work on a set of double doors yet? No, I don't think you have. So I might have another trick involved on fixing this, which is going to entail taking the door down. I don't know if I have to do that just yet. I'm gonna try something else first. Okay? And my concern is, because I have such a big gap there, if I put screws in, I don't want to make this gap bigger. You know, when I suck the door jamb over, I don't want this gap to be any bigger. If it does, I'm going to have to take those screws back out. And there's another way. Did you know, right now, there's another way to get this gap smaller without putting screws back behind these hinges. There is another way. And I think I've shown it to you before, long time ago, back in some of my videos. I've got it. I know I've got it somewhere. And this could be a good candidate on fixing that door this way. But I'm going to first try these screws. Okay? Stick around. Here's my staging area. Yeah, I got all this stuff. I never know what I'm going to need next. So be prepared for your project. Make a list of stuff that once you start going on your project, just know that every once in a while you're going to have to go back to the store. I usually go to Home Depot. I like to get stuff at Home Depot. There's my Home Depot bag. Of course, I got the Homer's bucket right there. And I got, you see, Homer's all-purpose bucket, 5 gallons. It's Home Depot, the Home Depot, not Home Depot. It's called the Home Depot. I got cleaning stuff in there. And you know, you don't have to go to Home Depot. You can go to Lowe's. There's all kinds of different places, obviously, in different states and that kind of thing. Just start collecting more things. And because, here's the beauty, because you're starting to do things yourself, you're going to save from having other people having to fix all your doors and whatever else it is that I'm showing you on videos. And then that means you can save, and then you can spend some of that money on some of the tools and invest in yourself. Don't keep paying somebody else to do all the things that you can do yourself. Okay? Remember that.